Have you ever imagined the sky turning into a battlefield? Have you ever looked up and seen not just an ordinary storm, but a burning rain mixed with fire, devastating everything it touched? Imagine being in a land already suffering from plague after plague, and suddenly being surprised by something never seen before. The sky, which normally brings life through rain, now becoming an instrument of destruction and divine judgment. That is how the seventh plague of Egypt begins, one of the most dramatic and feared of them all. But why did God choose hail and fire? What hidden symbolism lies behind this plague that fell from the sky and destroyed the earth? What does this phenomenon teach us about justice, pride, and redemption? When Moses appeared once again before Pharaoh, he was already seen as a threat. Egypt had suffered greatly from the previous plagues. Water turned to blood, frogs that invaded homes, lice, swarms of flies, disease among livestock, and boils afflicting people. Yet Pharaoh's heart remained hardened. With each refusal, with every time he said no to the plea to release the Hebrew people, God responded with something even more powerful, even more symbolic. And then came the warning. If Pharaoh continued to resist, the sky would open with a storm, unlike anything Egypt had ever seen, hail mixed with fire. And so it happened. Moses, obeying God's command, stretched his staff toward the sky. Immediately, thick clouds began to gather. The sky darkened as if night had fallen at midday. The wind howled violently, and then hail began to fall. Not just ice, but stones of fire mixed with it, a storm of extremes, defying natural explanation. The earth began to burn. Trees were split in half. Fire consumed the crops as hail destroyed everything in its path. Animals and people left in the open were struck down. The sky, once a symbol of blessing, had now become a weapon of divine judgment. But why did God use these two elements, water and fire, together? Isn't that a contradiction? Hail is frozen water, fire is heat and destruction. And yet, the two manifested simultaneously as one force. This reveals one of the most profound messages of this plague, the union of opposites under divine will. When God acts, there are no natural limitations. He is not bound by the laws of physics, by human logic or material understanding. He can unite the impossible, and when he does, it is to show that his authority reigns supreme. The fire did not melt the hail, and the hail did not extinguish the fire. They coexisted, acting together with a specific purpose, to break Pharaoh's pride. And here lies another essential point. The plague of hail and fire did not come without warning. Through Moses, God sent a clear message. Bring your livestock and servants inside, for everything left in the field will perish. It was a moment of mercy within judgment. And interestingly, some Egyptians believed Moses. They feared the Lord and took their servants and animals indoors. Others, ignoring the warning, remained in the field, and they were the ones who suffered most. Here lies one of the most powerful lessons of this plague. Even in the midst of judgment, God offers a path of escape for those willing to listen. The hailstorm raged, trees were shattered, crops, especially flax and barley, already in bloom, were completely destroyed. Egypt was deeply wounded. Its economy, food security, and natural structures were devastated within hours. Yet, in the land of Goshen, where the Hebrews lived, nothing fell. No hail, no fire. This contrast made it even clearer that what was happening was a targeted act with spiritual purpose. It wasn't random. It was intentional. It was divine justice. Pharaoh, upon seeing the devastation, seemed to finally yield. He called Moses and said, "This time I have sinned. The Lord is righteous, and I and my people are guilty." He asked Moses to intercede and to stop the storm. Moses went out, lifted his hands and prayed. The thunder ceased, the hail stopped falling, the sky calmed, peace returned. But the question remains, Was it true repentance or merely fear of consequence? As soon as the storm passed, Pharaoh's heart hardened again. His promise of liberation was broken. The resistance continued. How many times do we do the same? How often do we promise to change in the face of pain, loss, or suffering? But once relief comes, we return to our old ways, ignore the signs, and close our hearts again. The plague of hail and fire is more than a story of destruction. It is a mirror of the human soul. It shows that even in the face of miracles and warnings, a heart can remain closed, unless there is a genuine decision to transform. The true power of this plague lies not only in its visual and destructive force, but in what it represents spiritually: the chance to change, to listen, to fear God, to obey. God didn't need to prove anything to Egypt, but he was giving everyone, including the Egyptians, the chance to see, to believe, to surrender. And as we saw, some did, others did not. Today, many still live like Pharaoh, hardened, resistant, ignoring the signs the universe sends. But the choice always remains. You can gather your servants and livestock, or you can stay out in the field, thinking you're safe on your own. The decision is yours. If this message sparks something within you, and you want to continue discovering the spiritual meanings behind the plagues of Egypt, and uncover the hidden truths in these ancient stories, then subscribe to this channel now. Here, you'll find deep reflections, spiritual insights, and timeless wisdom that echoes from ancient times to the present. Because what fell from the sky that day wasn't just hail and fire, it was a call to awaken.